It ain't easy being the dream and building the world's ultimate event for men. But that's not what gets me the girls. It's the soap. Which soap? Soap me up, baby. Tactical soap. The world's ultimate soap for men.
Mi jabón gringo favorito.
Proud channel sponsor of 21 Studios and the Red Man Group. I'm Anthony Dream Johnson, and I approve this soap. Big time.
George Bruno with the 21 Report, the European edition. We're in Warsaw, Poland, and I'm talking with Mr. Richard Nikoley. Welcome.
Thank you, George. May I say that I've seen a lot of your interviews, and when I came here to speak, I was like, I hope I get a George Bruno interview.
Excellent.
I really do.
Excellent.
I really do.
Excellent.
You're great at it.
Well, your image has changed.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. Get more serious. I took this one very serious. Well, it's not like I didn't take it very seriously, but I was in a different realm, you know,
Yes.
a long time paleo diet and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it was kind of, you know, barefooting was a thing. So, you know, all these
Yeah.
gimmicky things.
Yeah.
I'm like, no gimmicks this time. Get a haircut.
You have a great haircut. The shadow beard is to perfection.
Thank
It's
you.
great.
Well, you're the expert.
Yeah.
Right? I would have hit you up for one, but I was walking down the street and I found this barbershop yesterday afternoon with two girls running it. I'm like, sorry, George.
I don't blame you. I might end up there myself.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, what did you think so far of our 21 convention here in Warsaw?
I just love it. Like I said, is that, you know, taking nothing away from the previous 16 events, 3 of which I've spoken at in the past, this just resonates. It's the right place at the right time. This is a great country. And so I feel like I'm not only being hosted by Anthony and yourself, but I'm also being hosted by Poland.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting story. My dad, back when it was Germany in 1938, was born in Stettin, which is now Szczecin, Poland.
Okay.
Right. So that's it's
interesting.
Yeah.
Some interesting roots there.
Yes.
Well, I thought your presentation was like I'm going to tell the audience this. I felt it was like a battle cry for men. The bullet points that you brought up could have easily been communicated at our most recent Patriarch conference, and that list of men's responsibilities. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that.
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't get to attend the Patriarch event, but I heard a lot about it, and I knew some of the speakers there. And plus, I have a good relationship with Anthony, and we talked about some of this stuff in personally between us. And then I did an interview with him, and he did an interview with me, and some of these things came up.
Yes.
And then Socrates, who was the kickoff speaker yesterday, it just so resonated with me. And I hadn't, you know, I'm one of those under pressure kind of guys, so I tend to write my presentations 3 hours before I give them and then give it because it's right fresh in my mind. Yeah. And it doesn't sound like it's too polished, if you know what I mean. And so I'm listening to that, I'm like, man, so many things. That's why in the past I've spoken here, but I spoke on like diet and diet and paleo stuff the first time. The second time was about political stuff, you know, libertarianism kind of things. Mm-hmm. And then the third time in 2017, the 10-year event, I spoke on cryptocurrency.
Yes.
So I'm always kind of peripheral to the manosphere issues. This was my first time dealing with those issues. And one reason I've been kind of distanced from it is I wasn't really interested in the non-serious things. It's okay you're going to be a teenager, you're going to do this stuff or even early, but I think, and when you see the kind of trends, and that's the reason I gave this talk on the history and cancer of feminism, is you see this slippery slope sliding all the way down.
That was a great way to describe it. Yeah.
And I'm like, man, it's time to get serious. And what I see with the Patriarch event And then as well as Socrates' presentation, I'm like, this is the thing to do. And then Anthony has next year planned a 22 convention that's a women's convention.
Yes.
So this is the perfect thing to move into.
Yes, it
And
is.
then, the sky's the limit. You go from there to have a couples convention, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
that's just throwing
the
an
natural
idea out.
progression.
Natural progression.
I think
yes.
it's like when we look at the evolutionary charts,
Yeah.
and I think a couples convention would be kind of like it's the upright ape. It's the fine, you know what I mean? Because that's what we're all moving towards. It's an evolution.
And especially in the sense that it's like we're in extremis now. You see everything out there working against traditional roles for males, for females, marriages and children and families. And we're in a place that's wonderful. Poland, you could do one in Hungary too, where they have pro-family social policies.
Yes. It's interesting, you showed a picture in your slideshow of a bunch of women all tattooed up and pierced and so forth. And I know a lot of people that would have captioned that as being just anti-men. You captioned it as being anti-men and anti-woman.
And anti-family.
And anti-family. And that really summed it up.
Yeah.
That was standing on another street corner, viewing that from a different perspective, because that kind of stuff is only like, look how much they hate you, to
the
men.
Focus on us when they're destroying themselves.
It's look how much they hate everybody.
Yes, including themselves.
Yes.
And they're just they hate themselves, but they're out of their own kind of self-survival instinct. They're I don't even know what the word for it is, but they're pretending they're something they're not.
Yes.
Right? They pretend they're great.
Yes. Is there hope for today's families and the families not yet created?
I like to be optimistic as a matter of just general, thing. I rant and I rave, right? But at the same time, I'll get on an airplane and come out here and hopefully give some hope and some direction. That's why the last part of it was practical. It's like, okay, what do we do now, right? Well, we can do men have to take responsibility. Here's some things they can do. Not an exhaustive list, not all inclusive. You can add stuff to it. Here's where women can take responsibility. Practical things, actionable things. You can take responsibility, you can take action, and you can measure results and adjust.
I felt your speech was not just philosophical and ideological. It was actionable. The men that took notes can actually start practicing that stuff. And I think it gave them hope. And in the quote-unquote manosphere, there's so much, I jokingly call it the despairosphere, because it's just so filled with darkness and despair. And one of the questions I asked people during the Patriarch convention, I asked the question, I said, when I talk to young people, they always say, I would never want to bring a child into this world with the way the world is.
Yes.
And everyone said, why not?
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
I believe Stefan Molyneux even said, get married, have children, save the world. I mean,
that was one of the interviews I saw was yours with Stefan. I've followed him for years and years.
Yeah.
I'm glad his videos are shorter now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, he can go a long time, can't he? Yeah. What would you add to that, as far being the optimist that you are? How would you give hope to a young man? Talk to him right there. He has been battered. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know which end is up. He might have been raised by his mother and seen his dad every other weekend, his entire teenage years, maybe childhood. He's thinking, I would never want to do this. And maybe he's listening to the extreme voices in the men's community. And I believe that we have evolved to become more balanced and realistic, and my goal is not to radicalize young men, but to inspire them. Inspire that young man.
Exactly. And again, I'm just going to say it, that these events are great. The red pill community, all of this stuff. I'm not so happy about the MT Go, what is men going their own way. But if I was talking, right? If I was talking to you, I would say, and you're this person that George described, I would say, you got to get actionable, practical. Like, you're young, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to go get a job, or I'm going to start a business. If I get a job, once I get it, I'm going to keep sending out applications. I'm going to keep trying to get better and better and better job, get more experience, and move up. The more experience you get, the higher entry-level position you get in. Live frugal, live well below your means. Save money. Develop yourself. Have George cut your hair. And get some good clothes and go out and talk to women and find a good one. Try to find a place that works, that you happen to find good quality women in. Make sure she has a good family. Save your money. Get married. Have kids. Have enough, live below your means so that she can stay home and make a home so that you don't have to worry about that stuff because she's good at it. She's the CEO of that. You're her client, actually. And then you're going to go and you're going to keep building that career or business, or in some cases both, right? And so you're going to eventually attain the status where the idea of her working was silly from the beginning because she's done that partnership, and you've moved forward and you have good kids. Because they see, well, this is how it's done. How's that?
I'm inspired now.
That's good.
I want to start a family again.
You wish you were 20 again, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, man, I wish I'd have done that.
That was great. That was great. Taking it from ideology to actionable steps. Conversation with Mr. Richard Nikoley. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
What was your experience so far with the 21 convention?
Oh, outstanding. Professional, all across the board.
Really good energy with a lot of people, and I just like it because it's a very positive direction.
This, George, this has been a first-class event.
It's fantastic. You guys run a really tight ship. I've been to a lot of conventions over the course of my business career, and I can tell when things are well-run and when things aren't, and this is a very well-run operation. I was very impressed.
It's pretty incredible to see where Anthony's brought it, especially from last year, which was my first year here, and to see the upgrades he's made, it's been incredible.
I've got my notebook, and with every speaker, I've written down about 2 or 3 lines under each of the speakers of just the key prime stuff. That's good. That's good.
It's very surreal, man. I'm really enjoying it. I'm happy to live in such an era where such a thing like this is possible.
I have never seen a group of guys like this, a group of 200 men who are focused, squared away, they're working on their values. Just never met a bigger group of wonderful guys.
It's kind of neat because I've been to a fair amount of conventions in my day, but you never see one where the guys like here you can just see Ed Lattimore talking to Tanner about boxing.
Yeah.
You just sit down and then you tell your boxing experiences. Everybody's kind of pinging off each other. It's nice.
It has been fantastic. And it's been 4 days of guys all on the same page, working in the same direction.
Fascinating meeting some of the people, hearing their stories. You got people traveling from other parts of the world to come here just to see some of the speakers. That's amazing.
The thing that's impressed me is everybody here is very serious.
Yeah.
They're taking it close to their heart.
What a great convention.
Thanks, George.